Morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Thursday. It is the 10th day of April 2025. I hope you're safe and healthy on this Thursday. I hope your family is safe and healthy and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, along with the first responders. Blessings upon those that pick up garbage to keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings to the men and women that are out here trying to help, rescue, deliver, and recover the teenagers and children that are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People that are also victims of pornography and child pornography, prostitution and child prostitution, human trafficking and sex slavery. Double curses on the perpetrators, the profiteers, and those perverts that create the demand that cause these evil, human-destroying industries to exist. Finally, blessings upon the homeless, more than 600,000 men, women, children, families, senior citizens, and veterans homeless in the United States. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. So there's going to be a basketball game tonight. The New York Knicks are in Detroit to play the Pistons. Before I get into that, I want to just address the last game, the Celtics game. Someone asked me an interesting question. Said, were you angry after that game? And honestly, I usually am angry after a Knicks loss. Sometimes even have trouble sleeping. But not that one. I wasn't feeling angry after that game. And the reason I was not angry after that game is because I understood that the game came down to one play. It wasn't the Mikal Bridges out of bounds play. It was the OG Anunoby on Tatum play. A lot of people were responding, OG needs to guard Tatum. Well, he was guarding him on that play. And a lot of people were, of course, and the thing is, what I want to say is, the loss didn't bother me because I understood that they could play. If a game between the New York Knicks and the defending full-strength NBA champions comes down to one play, no matter what happens on that play, whether OG should have fouled him or didn't foul him or whatever, it comes down to that one play. That means that they played at a standstill for 47 minutes and 30 seconds. Or more. And that one play decided the game. So that the teams were even. What bothers me, what really is the thing I dread, is answering the idiots that come on my channel with their BS after a loss. That's really what bothers me. Which is why I get very nasty, unapologetically nasty, about people that come on my channel. Fire Thibs, or it's Thibs' fault. How is it Thibs' fault that OG Anunoby didn't foul a guy? OG Anunoby's a 7-year veteran in the league. He knows how to play freaking defense, and he says it. I should have fouled him. Why is it that the first response of people that claim to be Knicks fans is to attack the coach? That's the first response. I see it all the time. And I'm going to get people, my friends. I call y'all my friends that come on my channel and say, don't pay attention to them. You know what? If they come on my channel, I got to see it because I read the comments. I delete a lot of them. I delete some of the people too. But I rebuke most of them. And some idiot, you're really overly sensitive about Thibs because you can sit on your keyboard and talk pop mess like you a coach. You know what the hell you talking about? I'm overly sensitive. Well, hell yeah. I told you don't come in here with that. But some of y'all still want to do it anyway because you got some problem. But anyway. That's the worst part of a loss like that. Y'all, that's the worst part. Thibs is a great coach to me. Not a great coach. No, he hasn't won no chip, but I don't use that as the litmus test. Okay? Compared to the guys we have had, this guy has a game plan. He knows what he's doing. He's prepared. And for y'all to come on here with anything about him, no, I'm not going to have it. I done already told y'all multiple times. Some of y'all are so mentally ill that you just have this need that you must be negative about the coach. All your problems, I don't know if you're not getting some from your wife or whatever, but you come in with your problems and you dump them on my channel on my coach. Nah, we ain't having it. It came down to one play. That game was even. And then there's these other idiots that, the Celtics were shorthanded. No, they weren't shorthanded. They weren't. No, Al Horford didn't play. I didn't know he was a main cog of the Celtics. He's definitely not a starter. And some idiots think he is because KP misses so many games that Al Horford starts in his place. But Al Horford is not their regular starter, and he won't be if KP is healthy. So missing Al Horford don't mean nothing. And Jaylen Brown played 21 minutes. So he was there. He couldn't help them, though, because OG locked his ass up. So, and so people that are supposed to be Knicks fans are giving the Celtic excuses. And then we know Mitchell Robinson's on a minutes restriction. I think most of us understand that. And Thibs ain't going to play him more than 18 minutes. I think he played 16 in that game. Yes, he's very effective, but we need him for the playoffs, not for a late season game. So, yeah, my problem is not the Knicks. It's not Thibs. It's not the players. It's y'all. That's my problem. My problem going to bed that night was not that the Knicks lost based on one play. It was unfortunate, but that's the way the game goes. And what helped me is that I realized we could beat them. If a game with two teams at full strength comes down to one play with less than a minute left, that could go either way in a 7-game series. That could go either way, period. But people choose to focus on, the Knicks have 0-8 or 0-9 against winning teams, as if that means something when the Knicks haven't been full strength all year. But see, that's what haters do. And what I'm telling you again, I'm going to banish you haters from my channel. Don't come on here with that. Leave it on Twitter. They'll be glad to listen to your BS and give you cheese for your wine. I will not. I will not do it. Okay? So the disclaimer is there. Thibs, McCall, Deuce, MitchRob, they off limits. They off limits. Let me say it one more time for the knuckleheads. They off limits. You can't come here with that. Okay? You can't. Second thing. The Knicks play Detroit tonight. Now, we're without Mitchell Robinson, without OG Anunoby, and without Josh Hart. Smart move, you want to make sure they're fresh for the playoffs. So, cool. So, the Knicks, Detroit, this game means a lot to Detroit. Detroit is still trying to get the 5th seed. Detroit is still trying to push for the playoffs. Of course, they're clinched the 6th spot at least. They got 2 games against Milwaukee. If they could win tonight and win those 2 games, they could get the 5th seed. Okay? So they got something to play for. And they come in tonight, with their full strength. The Knicks are going to have Deuce McBride starting. Precious Achua. Some of y'all, including myself, wondered where Precious was against Boston. Thibs chose not to play him. But I will say this. He's going to play a lot of minutes tonight. He's going to start probably. So you're going to probably see Deuce, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges. You're going to probably see Cat. You're going to see Precious tonight. And they're going to play a lot of minutes. Because your bench, he's going to go small. He got to. You're going to have Payne, Shamet, and then what? You got DeLon Wright. You got a lot of guards available. Okay? Payne, Shamet, DeLon Wright. Some of y'all be calling for like Daddy. I don't think you're going to see that. You might. If I'm going to play a youngin' today, it's going to be Marshawn Beauchamp. Because like I said, to me, he's the most NBA ready of the guys that we have in the youngins in the back of the roster. Daddy A is going to have his time. A hoop party's hurt. We got enough guards, so we don't need Tyler Kolek. So I'm thinking it should be Beauchamp. Even though he's a two-way dude, I don't know if he's eligible to play or not. But that's the guy. If it's not Beauchamp, then you probably will see Daddy A. It's going to be one of them. And then there's Anton Watson. He's another two-way guy out of Gonzaga they got. So I'm not sure which one. I would choose Beauchamp to come in there. And what will happen is you're going to have Karl Anthony Towns playing his regular minutes. Precious is going to play more minutes. He's going to start at the power forward. And then he's going to be basically Josh Hart in that regard. And then when Cat goes out, he moves to the 5 spot. And that's when you bring in, either you're going to bring in another guard, which is what probably Thibs are going to do. You probably sit Towns, you move Precious to the 5, and then you're going to bring in Payne. And you're going to have Brunson, Deuce, and Payne. And then you'll have Mikal Bridges with Precious. You're going to be playing small today. Okay, now, Detroit really doesn't have a 7-footer. Like, their starting center is Jalen, and Jalen is not a 7-footer. He's like 6'10". Jalen Duren, he's like 6'10". Isaiah Stewart is 6'8". So they don't really go big at all, Detroit. They're basically, but they got a lot of guys in that 6'7", 6'8" range. So when you're looking at Cade Cunningham, he's 6'7". Tim Hardaway Jr. is 6'5", 6'6". Osir Thompson is about 6'7", right? So, and then you got Tobias Harris, who's a full 6'8". So you're talking about, let me see here. Tobias Harris is 6'8". Ron Holland is 6'8". They got a lot of 6'8" guys. Isaiah Stewart is 6'8". Jalen Duren is listed as 6'10", and that's about right. And so you don't really, and then Cade Cunningham is 6'6", 6'7", and then Hardaway is 6'5". So you really don't, that's not a big team. So if you're gonna go small, this is a team to do it against, because they don't really have a 7-foot dude. Now, Jalen Duren is a rim protector. He's really good at that, but he's still, like I said, he's 6'10". He's not Mitchell Robinson, and he's not going to stop our guys from putting their feet in the paint. That's what I'm saying. So if you got to go small, it's against this team. Now, the Knicks need this W to lock up the 3rd seed, period. Okay, so the Knicks are going to be trying to win this game, but they're going to be trying to win this game without MitchRob, without OG, and without Josh Hart. Now, that would seem daunting, except the Knicks do have a real deal culture of next man up mentality. And to me, with Deuce and Precious and Payne and Shamet, you do have enough dog there to get this done. So, I like that Deuce is starting. Not that Hart wasn't good. Obviously, we know Josh Hart is Charlie Hustle, and he's all that. But Deuce will give you that defense on Cade Cunningham at the point of attack, which is very important. He will give you that defense on Cade at the point of attack. Now, Ron Holland, he plays a lot of minutes for them. But the dangerous guy coming off the bench is Malik Beasley. He is a microwave type dude, which means he could be ice cold or he could be burning hot. And lately, the dude's been tearing it up. So you got to have somebody to guard him coming off the bench. And he's a 3-point shooter. That's what he does. He's a bomber. So the thing is, Malik Beasley's not going to kill you by getting in the paint. But he is going to kill you, and he will throw up threes. If he's 0 for 20, he thinks the 21st shot is going in. And he has the green light to shoot it. Right? So he's going to be firing all night. There's no doubt about that. So we need to have, and actually, Jalen Brunson could guard him. If he's staying on the perimeter, Jalen Brunson could guard. Okay? Jalen Brunson's tough enough, got enough dog in him to guard Malik on the perimeter if he needs to. But Jalen needs to pay attention and be on that tip. He can't be getting wandering off and letting Beasley. Nobody should be wandering off and letting Beasley just come off the bench and fire. He's going to be shooting. You want to have somebody in front of him. Okay, I think we could cover Duren between Cat, Precious. I think they can handle Tobias Harris and Duren. Another wild card is Osir Thompson. The boy is a live wire. He's fast. He's athletic. He's defensive. He really does a little bit of everything well. He's not a great shooter, but he can. He will. They're gonna probably leave him. If anybody is left open to shoot, it's gonna be him. Okay, him or Ron Holland. Those two cats are young, athletic. They could run all night. They could jump out the gym, but I wouldn't call them great shooters. So you got to watch them. So you got to leave them. The Knicks will probably devise their scheme to let those two have as many 3-pointers as they want. Because if you get them shooting a high percentage chance that you getting a rebound, see? So that's the keys today. And of course, the lower the turnovers, the better. Keep the turnovers low. perimeter defense, and of course, as always, rebounding. We got to rebound the ball, small or not. We got Precious. This is one of them games we're going to need a 15 rebound game from him. And I know he's capable of doing it. Last year, and this is last year, but last year when Precious was pressed into service in the second half of the season, he was typically getting, double digits in rebound. I have not seen that Precious this year, but then again, to be quite fair about it, he hasn't been getting them 30-minute games that he was getting last year. As he was getting these 30, 35-minute games because of all the injuries, he was getting better. He's been getting spot minutes this year, and that hurts a guy like Precious. So most players, very few players could just come off the bench like Jamal Crawford used to do and just light you up. Or like a Malik Beasley. Not many players could do that. That's a talent. That's why, you got 6th man of the year for that situation. Or DeAndre Hunter. Or Pritchard. Some people can't do that. Most people need to get a lather, need to get in the rhythm in order to play their best. And that's Deuce, that's Isaiah, and that's Precious Achua. I almost said Beef Stew because them two are very much closer like Beef Stew and to me, they're a lot alike, Beef Stew and Precious Achua. So, but tonight, I'm expecting Precious to get those 30-plus minutes. And if he gets those 30-plus, which he should, you're not going to play Karl Anthony Towns 40 minutes tonight. You're not going to do that. You got to get him ready. That knee, you don't want to mess with that. So, Precious is going to get a lot of minutes today. They're going to go small a lot today. Because of that, I think as the game goes on, Precious will get better. That's what I'm thinking. So that's good for us because we'll need him. Precious is very good at getting tough boards at the close of a game when you need them. He really is. I mean, quiet is kept. To me, the best guy at getting boards in traffic is Josh Hart. But aside from that, I like Precious. I mean, Cat knows how to use his size, which is I do like about Cat. Not all big men actually know how to use their size the way you expect, but Cat does. And he knows how to get rebounds in traffic because he's so daggone big, okay? And so he does. But Precious is really good at getting tough rebounds in traffic at the close of a game. So we're going to need that today. So Precious is a key today. Deuce is a key. And don't let Deuce come off that bench shooting work. Sometimes he could be a little microwave too. If he come off that bench shooting them threes, we're going to be in good shape today. But if not, we can still grind one out. That's what we're looking to do. Grind one out. Okay? So that's what we're looking to do today. Hopefully they get that done. Boston lost last night by 20 to Orlando. Sat all they guys. Man. And played the bench. Of course, see, and that's another thing we need to recognize. They brought their full contingent against us because they know who we are. See, it's good that the champs recognize. I wish some of your Knicks fans would recognize. We could beat them. Okay, we really could in a 7-game series. What really for the Knicks against Boston, this is the key. Sometimes, and this is not just the league. This is the league and college and high school. You get a team that has beat you a lot, right? And so you might have a team on the floor that can compete with that team. But the psychological part of getting over the hump of beating them, just saying you won a game against them, that's the biggest issue sometimes. And that's where Jalen Brunson comes in. That's where Josh Hart comes in. Psychologically, they are very strong. And they will try to take the head off of Boston when they're ready. Okay? That's what helps us here. Because that's what's going to be the thing in the playoffs. In the playoffs, if we have to play Boston, it's 2 in Boston, 3 in New York, 2 in Boston, right? So the 2 in Boston, the key thing is to get a dub in Boston, and that's psychological. We could play with them physically. We really could. I mean, like I said, the game came down to one play with less than a minute to play, okay? So we could ball with them, and the Knicks was up at the half, right? We could ball with them, and there'll be no minutes restriction on MitchRob then. So we could ball with them. The key thing is getting over that psychological hump of beating them. Okay? So we just need to beat them. Once the Knicks realize, and if they can do it in Boston, if they can beat them in Boston, then the confidence is going to go way up. Okay? That's going to be real important. But for now, we need this dub in Detroit. And we need our boys to grind. Y'all enjoy the game. Be safe out there. So...